It's actually Hawaiian. It's a wiki, a Hawaiian word meaning quick, and the idea is quick collaboration. Yeah. Well, I didn't make up the word wiki. Actually, the idea of a wiki, which is a website anyone can edit, was actually invented by a guy named Ward Cunningham back in 1995. And these wikis were a small underground phenomenon for several years, and I just took the idea and popularized it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more traffic specifically to articles related to people and issues that are coming up in the news around the election. And that would include not just the main figures, but also, all of the other supplementary kinds of people who are involved. As it is, we have a really strong community of people who care more about making sure that we try to be a neutral, high-quality encyclopedia. There are a lot more of those kinds of people than there are people who are, really trying to be hardcore partisans in one direction or the other. And then we have the ability, the community can decide to temporarily lock an article for a while if someone won't behave. So. First there'll be some kind of big debate break out, a big argument. People will tag the article and say things like the neutrality has been disputed. They'll go back and forth a little bit, and if it gets too heated, then any of the administrators, and we have in English Wikipedia there are over 1,000 active administrators who've been elected from the community. They can put a temporarily lock the article so that basically no one can edit it, or they can use a milder form of locking that we call semi-protection, which just means you have to have been around for at least 4 days before you can edit. It's a little lighter weight form of protection. It turns out to be a really good way to stop people who just want to, change an article to all curse words or some, very juvenile behavior like that. It's kind of like a waiting period. If you sign up and wait 4 days, then you can participate. No. They're all volunteers. They're people who've been, a lot of them have been working on the encyclopedia for years. So I did and I didn't. I mean, I'm very pleased that so many people, so many good people have taken an interest in trying to help make the project better. But early on, I don't think I really realized how many there would be. But I was aware, I knew a lot of people online were involved in political discussions and debates, and some of those people are really just very agitated and very angry and they like to flame, but there's lots and lots of thoughtful people. So I knew they were out there and that they really like to talk about all kinds of knowledge and information and philosophical matters and things like that. And so I always felt that if they had a place where they could come together and build something productively, that something cool might happen. To now we have over 10 million articles, over 2.5 million in English. We're in over 150 languages that have at least 1,000 articles in them. And we're seeing, hundreds of millions of people all over the world see Wikipedia every month. We haven't had any really serious trouble out of governments trying to really censor Wikipedia, other than the Chinese, who for a couple of years were blocking Wikipedia. We're available now. We're not so sure how long that's going to last, but we hope it will stay open. The editors of Wikipedia, the people who are really involved, they set up personalized watch lists. They track the traffic. They track the recent changes to see what's moving and what's going on. There's some different third-party websites that actually track this and look and say what's hot on Wikipedia, what's getting edited a lot, and a lot of people go and check that out just to see, hey, what's new and what's going on. So, yeah, we do try to keep track of things like that. it's certainly true. When you're reading a Wikipedia entry, there are some things you need to look out for. You need to check and see how many people have edited it. You need to sort of look and see. Often the community will flag something and say this article lacks references, and so that's kind of a warning sign. In general, though, we see it's mostly pretty good, and people who use it all the time say, I find it to be mostly pretty good, but you always want to go to a second source if you really need something super critically fact-checked. But we're also introducing some new features to the software, a feature called flagged revisions that will allow the community to identify articles that have passed a more rigorous process. It's a very flexible tool, so they can say, this is our best work, and that will be something that then the public can see that version of the article instead of seeing the rough cut that they would normally see. So we're always trying to evolve things to see how can we get the best possible quality, but we also don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, because it's been an amazing, just an explosion of knowledge sharing, and it's it's mostly a wonderful thing. We just want to find the problems and try to solve those. Right, well, so like a classic example would be the article on George W. Bush, which stays semi-protected basically all the time because he's very controversial and he's the U.S. president, always in the news, there's always something going on, and if we completely unprotect that article, it just gets vandalized over and over and over and over. People put curse words and whatever. So we have to keep it semi-protected, but we don't like that. Instead, what we would rather say is let anybody edit it, but their edit's going to be checked before it goes live, checked by a trusted member of the community. Yeah, empirically, there's no question that it does. If someone has to, if they just want to write, George W. Bush is a moron in all capital letters 100 times, if they can just get on and do it instantly, they'll do it. And if they have to wait 4 days, well, they kind of lost the impulse to do that. It's like a lot of impulsive childish behavior. If you just make them wait a little bit, they just won't do it. Most people understand the idea of neutrality, and most people are just genuinely trying to help. So even when people aren't logged in, they're an anonymous person, and you see that an edit has been made, in most cases that edit is just some little small thing that's helpful, and it's just somebody saw some spelling error or they added a paragraph or two about some topic, and you go and investigate it and you say, oh, it's actually fine. That's really amazing to realize, because there is this idea that the internet is some kind of horrible, hostile place with lots of weird, strange people, and well, the weird, strange people are there, but there's not that many of them, as it turns out.